Welcome to CFX, the connection of things. And let me tell you, this is not business as usual. My guest today is my business partner, my life partner, my wife, and best friend, Karen Wilson. Welcome, Karen. Thanks for joining me today on the show.
Hi, it's good to be here.
It's good to have you here. And, you know, the CFX, the connection of things, is a show about, we're looking into explaining and understanding and diagramming connections and the relationships that hold those connections together. But something else that this show is intended to do is to create connections. And Karen and I, through our work isn't always overlapping. We have different skill sets and different things that we want to work on. But one of the ways that we have connected through our business is through the CFX conference series. And so we're going to talk about that today, how we've been working on that together, how it came to be, and a bunch of cool stuff. So I'm just going to hit the music and get us rolling. All right, so right off the bat here, we have a guest joining us live. It's Ate, Top Gun 2 speaker. And we're going to be talking about Ate later on. And so super cool, Ate, that you could join us here live. That's a fantastic segue to just remind everybody that this is a live stream. So it's not just about a pre-recorded show or anything like this. This is interactive. So if you're watching live along with Ate, throw in your comments into the chat. And if you've got questions or suggestions or anything like that, we'll do our best to answer that. So, Karen, let's see now. We started working on cumulative effects through our company about 6 or 7 years ago, but we had a vision of not just doing our own work, but bringing together a bunch of people. And we've experienced, even in our own community, how sometimes divisive it can be when there's this conflict between land use and priorities and jobs and environment and all of this stuff. And I think one of the things that we wanted to do with the conference was to create a safe space where people could come together without that conflict, without positions, right? And to share their ideas.
Yes, yeah. A lot of times I refer to myself as like a common citizen versus the scientist that you are. And so a lot of times I feel like people come together and everybody has usually the same vision of wanting, prosperity and still having a sustainable earth, right? And everybody has their different vision on how to get there, but they're not necessarily the same. And it's hard to have those difficult conversations when everybody is in different kind of silos with their, I don't, it's for lack of a better term, jargon. Everybody has their own language that is not always understandable from the other party. So it's really great to open up the vision of how do we work together on things that are so complex.
Yeah. So like I'm just thinking of the example that we had in our community where there was a proposal to put in a shopping development in an area that was right on top of a river delta, and so there was a lot of different perspectives on how to do that, and a lot of times where solutions come from is when people of opposing perspectives or views can come together and explore. So again, that was the idea of the conference, to create that avenue where we could explore, not necessarily convince each other, but to share ideas, share perspectives.
That's right, because we don't know unless we explore, you know? And I think that exploring with that open mind in a safe space, that nobody, everybody's idea is great. We're just here to discuss, and how do we move forward together. And you may not have thought about it that way, and it's about the middle line. You may have not thought about this, but when there's a bigger picture thinking, it just, yeah, it's been really awesome to see what's come together in this short of time.
And then this year, COVID came along, and of course, our event was an in-person event, and certainly nothing can replace that in-person connection. The ability to share that space physically with other people. But on the other hand, the world sort of shifted and said, "It's okay. I mean, we're gonna go with it here. We're gonna use this avenue of online connection in the meantime," and that's brought us to people like Ate, who's right now joining us from Saint Tropez in France, and we wouldn't have that opportunity that we're getting. So this was another thing, I think, that it's definitely not as good as being in the room together. That's for sure. We know that. But being able to go online and have a virtual event allows us to spread out over the world. So we have speakers from Europe, speakers from New York, Los Angeles, Toronto, and little old Salmon Arm over here in British Columbia and Secwepemcúlecw. So, Karen, you work a lot in video, and I guess this virtual environment is really becoming a big connector using video, right?
Yeah, it's video is fantastic, because like, it's especially, I'm finding at this point, the more real, the more live, the more like unedited, the better. And I find that, like, right now, with working with people bringing their ideas online, that space is going bananas, because people are like, just they're ready for it. It makes me think, when there's a demanding situation put on the entire world at the same time, and everybody is willing to make that shift, because now it's a necessity. It's how we're learning, it's how we're connecting, how we're communicating. And I find that's no longer an obstacle. So it kind of makes me think and it doesn't kind of make me think, I always think about this, like, why can't we have that demanding situation? Why can't we feel that now, and make steps to secure better futures in the holistic space, before waiting until there's something that we need to respond to? I mean, we've just shown the whole world is capable, and anyways, that's.
Yeah, no,
I kind of go on a rant about that.
Well, it's a matter, I think, of urgency and understanding time, and so in many respects, we've had the luxury of lots of time and what seems like unlimited resources, but we're increasing our awareness that that's not the case. That we live in a finite world, and how so tightly we are connected. I think something like the pandemic has really brought that home, how we're connected on a world scale.
For sure.
And, speakers like, Dr. Carolyn Casson from NYU, who's going to be talking about the geopolitics of energy and sustainability, is really bringing home that perspective that we are all so connected on that energy front too. And what's happening in the Middle East very much influences what happens on the land in North America. And so our ability to sort of anticipate and think ahead into the future beyond the immediate, I think is really valuable. That's one of the things that Ate is going to be sharing with people is, the value of not only understanding systems and where you fit in, but the ability to practice. I'll tell you, if you have a comment about that, that'd be great. I can throw it up on the screen, but this ability to like he works as a fighter pilot. They work, or all pilots work with simulators, which is in a situation where you can learn and practice, but it's safe, like our conference, right? So you can test ideas out. You can test new tactics. You can perfect your skills. And if you crash your plane, it's just like hit restart. It's not like the real thing. Mm-hmm. So, that's part of what we're doing too, I think, when we're talking about cumulative effects and using simulation and looking into the future, how we can try to anticipate the urgency that you were just talking about. So that when it comes, if it comes in the form of an economic crisis, or it comes in the form of climate change, or we've already spent some time getting ready.
Well, there's so many things that are connected, and I run into it in the work that I do too, with building online courses and building websites. And I always refer to it as like the kitchen renovation or the bathroom renovation. Is you might go to work on the sink, but what's connected to that, there's the plumber. And those shows like when we watch Love It or List It, right? There's always more. There's always something that's connected to that next thing that's going to have an effect of what you do there. And it might be negative, it might be positive, but without having that conversation first, it's and being able to, change the vision, change the scope on the fly. There's still so much value in the plan, but you have to know that it has like little octopus arms, right?
Yeah, that's cumulative effects. Octopus arms.
It always gets bigger. Yeah.
That's a good metaphor. So now we get to probably my favorite part of every one of these shows, and the thing that the guest dreads the most. It's time for rapid fire questions.
I don't know who's going to dread it more, you or me. But
I have to be really careful here because, that's why I'm putting on my glasses to make sure I get it right, because, my marriage could be on the line here. Okay, so real safe questions. We're just going to whip through the ideas that you don't think about it too much. You just give us your first response. I'm not going to ask you anything that's too perilous. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
Here I go.
Question 1. Text or video?
Video.
Favorite day of the week?
Monday.
Monday? Whoa.
I don't know why I said that, but it was the first thing that came to my mind.
Wow. That's unusual. I would say most people are probably looking to the weekend, but I guess you're ready to take on the week. I'm always excited for a fresh slate. It's like, yeah. LA or New York?
New York, just because, LA. That one is, I have to throw that one out. I love them.
Okay,
equally.
Toronto or
I don't
Vancouver?
think we spent enough time.
Toronto or Vancouver? Hey?
Vancouver.
I love LA too, but I'm going to go with you on New York. There's just, we've experienced both cities. They're both great. There's just this kind of unique energy in New York City that we haven't found anywhere else.
Yeah, and I've been to LA a lot more than New York, and I want to revisit it again. It was like just electric.
Okay, rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you, Karen?
10.
10? All right. Actually, you have a pretty good safe driving record.
Yes,
I think actually the last time you got a speeding ticket, I got one at exactly the same time. We were driving down the road together in two vehicles, and we both got nailed.
Oh yeah, that was way back when we were dating. I forgot about that. That was like 100 years ago.
Okay. Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
No,
Okay. Canoe or kayak?
kayak.
Last Halloween costume?
A fitness instructor from the 80s.
Oh, wow. Um, what's one of your superpowers? I know you have a bunch of them.
Oh, I I have a cape, and I feel I think that my superpower is infectious optimism.
I see.
I yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely have an infectious personality. That's what brought us together. I think it's interesting. Ate put himself as an 8 for a driver. I hope he was a 10 when he was in the fighter jet.
He has
Um,
that.
okay. Walk our dog Tula or bushwhack with me?
Can we bring Tula on the bushwhack?
No.
Oh no, I'm walking Tula for sure.
Okay. And your favorite Canadian food?
Chocolate. Is that a
Is
Canadian
that
food?
Canadian?
With
That's
French fries. It's got to be French fries.
French fries. Okay.
Are those Canadian?
I don't know.
Um,
They are now.
my mom's
I was going with bacon.
tortillas. My mom's tortillas.
Yeah, that's
The
for sure.
meat pies. She
That's for
makes the
sure.
best pastry. I don't think there's anyone on the planet that outdoes her pastry.
Oh, wow. You're getting lots of points. When we go home to visit your mom, we're going to get lots of good stuff. Okay, so we're going to move on to this next little section here with a couple more questions. We're going to talk a little bit more about our speakers and then a great contest that we have going that Ate is part of. He's a big part of it. So,
Yeah, thank you, Ate. That's so generous.
yeah, it really is. So I just wanted to, I'm going to put up on the screen um, the website from the conference. There you can see Ate at the top. And I'm just going to scroll down to this guy down here called Kenton Thomas, who's a Secwepemc performer, and talk about connecting with people. Kenton's done a performance at the 2019 CFX conference, was the most popular presenter of all.
Yes.
And tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow with Kenton in preparation for CFX 2020 Live?
This is really, really exciting because it's been a while since I've been able to take out my equipment. And we are going to go out on the land and film his performance. And it's exciting because it's going to be a beautiful day, and I get to see it live while
Yeah.
recording it. Yeah, but you'll all, anyone that comes to the conference, that will be part. It's part of the experience as
Yeah,
well.
for sure. So, for people that are not from this neck of the woods, Secwepemc Ulu is the unceded traditional territory of the Secwepemc Nation, which is in southern British Columbia, Canada, and very large indigenous nation. Been on the land here where we live for thousands and thousands of years. And Kenton comes from a long line of knowledge holders and storytellers within the nation, and he's learned the art and craft of being able to share that, share the legends, the teachings, and the tellings through live performance. So out on the land tomorrow, in just on the near the bottom of Mount Ida, Kenton is going to be performing "Coyote Juggles His Eyes," which is an amazing story that he told me it's a deep-rooted story through indigenous nations across North America, all the way from Anishinaabe out east through the Cree and Siksika, all the way out to even the tribes in California. So really exciting that we're going to have such a deep, meaningful story presented by such an authentic person.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be able to be out there and capture it live, and it's I'm looking really forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a very special part of the conference. And so we're really grateful to have Kenton there. The next piece I want to move to is the CFX library. So I'm going to just pull that up. And here's where we're going to get to talk about Ate's book, Debrief. The first thing I wanted to do was to share a video here, a 2-minute video. So we're going to go to that right now. When I was 10 years old, I'd hop on my red banana seat bike and ride out to the runways just to watch the jets take off and land. We had just moved to CFB Cold Lake, which is a fighter jet base in Canada. And I'd sit on the grass and watch the 104s take off full afterburner and just feel that rumble in my chest. And that's when I decided I wanted to be a pilot. And through my passion for flying, I got connected with Ate Chouet, a Franco-Canadian former fighter pilot who was trained by the US Navy. I met him in February this year, and let me tell you, it's very enlightening to hang out with a Top Gun fighter pilot. And it's pretty cool too. Talking with Ate, I quickly became aware of the many parallels between the cumulative effects work that we do and the highly complex ecosystem that is an aircraft carrier. Cumulative effects is a systems thing. So are fighter jets and aircraft carriers. You know, I take every opportunity I can to hang out with top performers from other businesses or other areas of practice because seeing things through their eyes gives me ideas and answers I wasn't able to see before. Sometimes that's just what I need to make a breakthrough. So that's why I asked Ate to be the first keynote speaker at the CFX 2020 live event. If you get to hang out with him like I do, new ideas are going to spark for you. New ways of seeing cumulative effects challenges you're working on are going to appear. And here's something else that's cool. The CFX 2020 live team came up with an idea to make it even easier for you to meet Ate. For today only, get your CFX 2020 live ticket for 25% less by using the code DEBRIEF on the payment page. That code word is also the name of Ate's book. Everyone who gets this 25% discount today will also be entered into a draw for one of 3 copies of the book, signed personally to you by Ate. We'll announce the winners on Monday, November 9th. Are you ready for takeoff? Go to cfxconference.com and launch. All right. So that's a pretty amazing opportunity. Ate's book really talks about bringing the connecting elements of working in a precision military system to business and how people can elevate their personal but also their business skills using the lessons that he learned that they needed to know so well in order to be able to execute a mission perfectly. And it's really cool too that not only will 3 people get a copy of the book, but it will be personally signed to them by Ate. Thank you, Ate. So awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's a great addition to the CFX library. You know, through connection like this, a lot of people are going to benefit from that knowledge and expertise that our speakers are bringing. It's so awesome. Mm-hmm. Karen, the last piece here as we get near the end of the show that we're going to talk about is the CFX, well, the CE Analytic Awards.
Yes, yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have 4 award categories, and the last time we gave out awards was 2019. We had planned for our live event in 2020, but that didn't happen. So this year we decided we're going to still have like at this time, because our May event was shifted all online within a 6 weeks period. So we thought, well, we'll save the awards till November again.
Till November, yeah.
And so now we're still in a spot where we can't meet physically. So we said, well, we're still going to do those awards. So this year we have 6 because there's a couple of categories where we just had to give a duo, like basically 2 people that are working on one thing.
Yeah.
So, that's exciting. I'm actually going to go be picking them up right after this show. They're engraved, we're mailing them out, and yeah, so there'll be little spotlights about the award winners to come.
Yeah, and we'll follow
Yeah.
up afterwards to highlight those things. So the idea of the awards was to, so often, especially in our work around cumulative effects and land use planning and trying to resolve differences, get away from the conflict and unlock prosperity, what we focus on so much are the problems. But what we also need to do is focus on the successes.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that was the idea here, was to celebrate success. We've got 4 categories. The Mastermind Award for people with awesome, unbelievable ideas they brought to fruition. Innovation Award. The Next Generation Award, who's working on helping our youth find the answers for the future. And then the Leadership Award. Everybody needs leaders. Ate talks a lot about the value and importance of leadership and how you get those skills to be able to share and make your team successful. So we're celebrating those 4 different categories, and we'll be handing them out. You can actually go on to my website at barryjwilson.com, click on stories, and you will see I put a blog there about the winners of the previous awards. And I think I can actually put it up on the screen here. Right here, there they are. The winners of the awards in 2019, and you can scroll down and look through there and see who won it and why they won it and how you can connect with them. So the last piece I want to just throw up here is just a reminder here on if you don't get to be one of the 3 who wins a signed copy of Ate's book, you can still buy it on Amazon. So I'm putting it up here, Debrief. And we'll put a link underneath this video where you can go to get that. Fantastic piece of work. So
We also have an alumni code as well. So if you are an alumni and you still are one of the first people, I think the alumni code is a little bit better. So you're still eligible.
What's an alumni?
That's someone that has been to one of our previous events.
Okay.
So CFX 2019,
okay.
CFX 2020 in May, the first one that went virtual.
So it's like you're in the club.
Yeah, you already know.
You're a part of the movement.
That's right. So whether you were a speaker or an attendee at either of those, you qualify for that. So if you are watching and you have been to one of our events, check your email. And if not, to find us at cfxconference@gmail.com. Or you already have my phone number. You can call me if you need it. Right. So it's. Yeah.
So, the connection of things, I mean, the ability to connect people together from a lot of different disciplines, bringing them together with a common mindset. I mean, all of us really have a vision of a better future, right? A better today for us, but also a better future for us and our children and our grandchildren. And so that really is the foundation of the CFX conference series, which will continue to go on every year as we continue to build this movement and bring people together. And a lot of people don't automatically think about some of these other skill sets, like what Ate brings as a fighter pilot and a systems specialist, really. And yet there's so much we can learn from all of that experience that could elevate our own work, our own assessment, even our own connection in our community, right?
Yeah, you never know. Like I find that when we're listening to others that have a similar mission in life or a similar vision, but it's in a completely different sector, that could be the very person that says the one sentence that changes everything. And I've seen that again and again and again. And so, we're very grateful to have the people coming together that we do this November 18th.
Oh, one
So,
last thing then too,
oh,
because we're talking about alumni and community, and we're just a little bit over time here, but
mm,
you have created a website where it's a community, so it doesn't go away. It's not like a one-day event. Everybody that gets into this event gets access to everything that's been there before, and
yes,
all of
yeah.
those people. So we have this community growing
Hmm.
in a safe and protected web portal.
Yes,
So that's something too. Is you get to join the community there. It's not just one day. It's a resource and a lot of connection for the whole year.
yes.
All right.
That's
Well,
right. That's right. And we do put a time frame on it, a very healthy time frame on it, because we do want the content to be viewed.
yeah.
But I believe the last time frame we put on was 8 months,
Right.
and then anyone, when you come into the next generation, you have access all to the previous.
Right.
And and we always give our people that have been with us for a while, we always give a healthy discount as well.
Right.
So we do our best to keep this easy and accessible to all without, like, yeah, yeah. Sometimes there's a point by which where the pricing is so low, people wonder, well, is it really worth it? And it's like, well, there's a lot in there. We don't want to put it so high because we want the conversation to be robust.
Yeah. All right. Well, so just to finish off then, today only there's a sale for the conference. If you want to connect with, engage live with Ate at CFX 2020, go to the conference page, register before midnight Pacific time tonight, enter the code, which is Ate's book, Debrief, DBRIEF, and you'll get 25% off the ticket price, and you'll get entered into a draw for one of those personally signed books. Thanks so much, Ate, for joining
Thanks,
us
Ate, for
remotely.
being here.
Even though you're in lockdown in Europe, stay safe over there, our friend. And to everybody else, we really look forward to continuing to connect with you through CFX, the Connection of Things show, right here, streaming live on YouTube. And join us at CFX 2020. It's November 18th. Pop that into your calendar. CFXconference.com is where you can find everything about it. Thanks, Karen.
Thanks for bringing me on the show.
Oh, that was absolutely my pleasure. See you later, Ate.
Bye, Ate. Thanks for coming.
See you all.